Hey, it's Grandma Baker here to read you another bedtime story, and I have two helpers today.
Your cousin Aiden.
Your cousin Audrey.
Hope you enjoy this. This is Yertle the Turtle by Dr. Seuss. On the faraway island of Solomon Sond, Yertle the Turtle was king of the pond. A very nice pond. It was clean, it was neat. The water was warm. There was plenty to eat. The turtles had everything turtles might need, and they were all happy, quite happy indeed. They were until Yertle, the king of them all, decided the kingdom he ruled was too small. "I'm the ruler," said Yertle, "of all that I see, but I don't see enough. That's the trouble with me. With this stone for a throne, I look down on my pond, but I cannot look down on the places beyond. This throne that I sit on is too low down. I ought to be higher," he said with a frown. "If I could sit high, how much greater I'd be. What a king I'd be, a ruler of all I could see." So Yertle the turtle lifted his hand, and Yertle the turtle king gave a command. He ordered 9 turtles to swim to his stone, and using their turtles, he built a new throne. He made each turtle stand on another one's back, and he piled them all up in a 9-turtle stack. And then Yertle climbed up. He sat down on the pile. What a wonderful view! He could see almost 1 mile. "All mine," Yertle cried. "All the things I now rule. I'm the king of a cow, I'm the king of a mule, the king of a house, and what's more, beyond that, I'm king of a blueberry bush and a cat. I'm Yertle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see." And all through that morning he sat there up high, saying over and over, "A great king am I," until long about noon. Then he heard a faint sigh. "What's that?" snapped the king, and he looked down the stack, and he saw at the bottom a turtle named Mac, just a part of his throne. And this plain little turtle looked up and he said, "Beg your pardon, King Yertle. I've pains in my back and my shoulders and knees. How much longer must we stand here? Your Majesty, please." "Silence!" the king of the turtles barked back. "I'm king, and you're only a turtle named Mac. You'll stay in your place while I sit here and rule. I'm king of the cows and I'm king of the mules. I'm king of the horse, house, and a bush and a cat. But that isn't all. I'll do better than that. My throne shall be higher," his royal voice thundered. "So pile up more turtles. I want about 200. Turtles, more turtles," he bellowed and brayed. And the turtles way down in the pond were afraid. They trembled, they shook, but they came, they obeyed. From all over the pond, they came swimming by dozens, whose families of turtles were uncles and cousins. And all of them stepped on the head of poor Mac. One after another, they climbed up the stack. Then Yertle the turtle was perched up so high he could see 40 miles from his throne in the sky. "Hooray!" shouted Yertle. "I'm king of the trees. I'm king of the birds, and I'm king of the bees. I'm king of the butterflies. I'm king of the air. And my, what a throne, what a wonderful chair. I'm Yertle the turtle, oh marvelous me, for I am the ruler of all that I see." Then again from below, in the great heavy stack, came a groan, that plain little turtle named Mac. "Your Majesty, please, I don't like to complain, but down here below, we are feeling great pain. I know up on top you are seeing great sights, but down in the bottom, we too should have rights. We turtles can't stand it. Our shells will all crack. Besides, we need food. We are starving," groaned Mac.
I drew the
You hush up your mouth, howled that mighty King Yertle. There's no right to talk to the world's highest turtle. I'll rule from the clouds, over land, over sea. There's nothing, no, nothing that's higher than me. But while he was shouting, he was surprised but he saw with surprise that the moon of the evening was starting to rise. Up over his head in the darkened skies, what's that? Shouted Yertle. Say, what is that thing that dares to be higher than Yertle the turtle? I shall not allow it. I'll go higher still. I'll build my throne higher. I can and I will. I will call some more turtles. I'll stack them to heaven. About 5,607. But as Yertle the turtle lifted his hand and started to order and give the command, the plain little turtle below in the stack, that plain little turtle whose name was just Mac, decided he'd taken enough, and he had. And that plain little turtle, that plain little lad, got a little bit mad. And that plain little Mac did a plain little thing. He burped. And his burp shook the throne of the king. And Yertle the turtle, the king of the trees, the king of the air and the king of the bees, the king of the house and a cow and a mule, well, that was the end of that king turtle's rule. For Yertle the turtle of Solomon's fell off his high throne and fell plunk in the pond. And today the great Yertle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud. That is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles, and maybe all creatures should be. Now here's another story called Gerald McFuzz. This is also by Dr. Seuss. There once was a girl named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail that ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had, and oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that flew in the young birdie named Lola Liloo, and instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude. Whatever she happened to spy, this Lola Liloo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awful mad, and she shouted, "That isn't just fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail like Lola Liloo." So she flew to her uncle, the doctor named Drake. So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh, please do you know of some kind of a pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor. "Such talk, how absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine on the top of a hill. "Thank you," chirped Gertle McFuzz, and she flew right straight to that hill where the pillberry grew. There, that was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry and started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick, but she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, and as if she'd been tapped from behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked round and she cheered. It was true. 2 feathers, exactly like Lola Liloo. Then she got an idea. "Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lola Liloo. These pills have grown feathers are working just fine." So she nibbled another one off of the vine. She felt a new twitch, and Gertrude yelled, "Wee! Miss Lola has only just 2. I have 3. When Lola Liloo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty. I'll show her who will. Why, I'll make my tail grow prettier still. She snatched at those berries that grew off the vine. She gobbled them down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and she didn't stop eating, young Gertrude McFuzz, till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all that there was. Then the feathers popped out with a zing and a zang. The blossomed like flowers. They bloomed in the spring. All fit for a queen. That what a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold, like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze, and some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. And now, giggled Gertrude, the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lola Liloo. And when Lola sees these, why, her face will get red, and she'll start all a scream, and she'll fall right down dead. Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground, but with all of those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds, and she yanked and she pulled, and she let out a squawk. But the bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night, she was stuck on the hill. Gertrude might be stuck up there still, if her good Uncle Drake hadn't heard the girl yelp, and he rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks, and then took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My, Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all the pulling was done, Gertrude's behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter, and now that's enough, because now she is smarter.